Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis of gold and silver. We're going to jump right into it, give you my financial opinion, and we'll go in right now. DXY. DXY down today, getting that little bloody nose. I still think that's a continuation pattern for the DXY to move higher. Remember, relative terms, not absolute terms. And we have these awesome pictures I put together there. I do think that we are going to go into this triangle somewhere similar to like we had in the past during the last bull market. And I think we're going to come up here. We'll have a strong dollar for a little bit, and then we'll turn and move. This thing can turn at any time. I don't have the crystal ball. I'm just noticing these patterns. It went higher here for a little bit, consolidated. When we're going higher a little bit, maybe we'll consolidate and then turn back around. Again, we've got inflation. All of the things are intact for the market conditions for a commodity bull market. The 10-year yield continues to go up, but we hit our head on this resistance line. So we've had a nice strong uptrend. We hit our head on it. We're coming back down a little bit. Is this just going to break higher? Tough to say. I mean, we've had strong 4.15% today, higher in the 10-year yield, but we are still below that strong resistance line going across, this white line going across. So we got to break that for higher yields. Looking at the CRB index moving higher, that's looking good. Gold moving down lower, bouncing off that support line. Would this be a good time to be looking at gold? Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking at silver, silver is bouncing back. I don't see a turnaround pattern yet, but one could be right around the corner at any time. Again, I try not to predict the short-term moves. What I do is I look at the long, big picture view, and maybe we have a breakout. Maybe we come back and do a retest into the 17s or 18s. Sometimes it doesn't come back that far. This could be a correction where we come on up, we come back and we pull back a little bit, and we might have finished the correction. What that would look like if we go from the bottom up is we would have a 50% retracement here if this line holds of this 50% retracement. A lot of the times we get pullbacks in the 618 area. That's where I usually look. The 618 area is around high 18s, low 19s dollars. So if we were to get a full kind of retracement before a move higher, I would look at the 1890 level for a 618 retracement on the fractal. Looking at platinum, platinum also hanging in there. It was basically sideways today. We've been moving sideways in this expanding type wedge, or I should say megaphone type-ish pattern. But overall, big long term, it still looks good. We've broken out of the big pattern. We're just kind of resting here, waiting for the call for launch. Looking at the XEU to gold ratio, this is good. We are bouncing off this support level. We're getting a big bullish engulfing. The mining companies are performing quite well here, at least today. I think that we could potentially maybe get a bloody nose tomorrow, or next trading session, I should say. It's a little down day, and then maybe we'll head on higher. I'm just guessing. Again, guys, I don't know the path. I don't want to try to predict I don't want to say that I can predict the path. But we're at support levels, and that's where I look for potential buying opportunities is off support levels. Karora Resources right at support. We're getting a little bit of support here. This is almost a bullish piercing type pattern right on support. We'll see if that support holds. We do have momentum coming on back down. We'll see if we get the full retracement back to about $3. That is a possibility. Usually what you see is it comes on down, and then you get a pattern that's facing upward. That's a bear flag. Then you come on down, and let's see if we get another kind of bear flag or something on the lines of that. And then we may come down to where it originally came out. Sometimes this ends right where it's at. And if you were to do a fractal on it, just to do some fractal analysis, if we start from here and we come on up, usually 0.718 or 0.786 is a area where things like to hold. 0.618 and 0.786 are two areas that a lot of things hold. We usually bounce off a half, 50th percentile mark, and then we come all the way back to 0.786. Sometimes it does a full retracement of 1. Again, I don't necessarily know the path, but if you're sprinkle, want to be a sprinkle man or sprinkle woman, whatever it is, you can sprinkle at these levels of 0.786 and 1.0 and whatnot. And I'll be teaching and training this in further analysis on the website, the Finding Value website, the Platinum membership. I will train people on there if you have that Platinum membership, and I'll set the next meeting for it, and I'll show you what to look for and how to do these fib extensions and the power and all that stuff. It's coming. Again, I wouldn't be overly reliant on it. I would be using it as a tool in a larger, more grandiose strategy. And I just use it for buying points. EXK, finding some support right where it's at. That's good. Nice, good bounce. Hopefully the momentum can continue. When you see these pullbacks, a lot of the times, and they're very hard to spot sometimes, especially leading up, but sometimes they come like this. You get this one thing, and then it comes back like that, and then sometimes it's done. And then you could do this as basically almost a full retracement. But sometimes it's hard to, again, I'm not an expert on this. I use it sparingly. I would probably go from maybe, say, like this portion here. And, oops, I didn't click it there. The retracement there, 0.786 is a popular one. Another one is 0.618 that you get these pause points. And then the retracements around. So we'll see what happens with this. Looking at FSM, another one that's bouncing off support. Nice, good move there. We got that step there. Whenever you see these steps kind of point up and you get another large down day, that means it's usually going to continue lower. Just, FYI. And we see this on all these. This is called a bearish engulfing here. They come in with a lot of momentum, and then you get like a pattern. You get a bearish engulfing there, and then it wants to go down further. Is this pullback complete? Maybe. I'm not going to claim to know the future, but we're at support lines. That's typically where I start looking for potential buys. Another one, you can see that pause point. So usually what you see is you get this that's the pattern that you usually see. Sometimes they can be distorted. It can be, you could have a pattern that looks something like this, and then it just goes up. It all depends on money flows, depends what the overall market is. And that's what I'll say there. MMNGF, another one that's getting buying pressure today. Again, that's not a reversal candlestick necessarily. Koya Silver getting some buying pressure. Discovery Silver, this is a bullish piercing pattern sitting on resistance. We'll see what happens there. First Majestic Silver getting some buying pressure. Again, we've got a lot of momentum here. And we'll see if the buyers can come in. Now, usually what to expect next is you get this pullback. And then usually what happens, and again, guys, I don't have a crystal ball, but usually you get kind of a pull up and then another smaller pattern. So this pattern here is really small, and you'll get it again and before it moves higher. So it's a real micro one, so to speak. This entire pattern here is a micro one that comes up and pulls back. That's most of the time I see that. Newmont, it's still pulling back. You got that halfway mark. We'll see where this thing settles. We've got Mag Silver putting in a bullish engulfing. That looks positive for a move higher. AUY still pulling back. We'll see where this thing settles at. Impact Silver getting a little bit of buying pressure. Still looking like a pullback though. Aftermath Silver, I still don't see a clear bottom, so I'm kind of just sitting on the sidelines. Arcana Silver. This one, somebody said something about bankruptcy. I don't know. I don't own anything in this company. Someone asked me to chart it, and it's definitely in a downtrend. And we've had support here. We're breaking below that support. I don't know much about it, but if you are ultra aggressive and you know a lot about the company, you got to dig in the fundamentals here and figure out what you want to do. PLG, another one that's down there. It's finding a little bit of support, a little bit of buying pressure. Siboney Stillwater getting a little bit of buying pressure right at this support area. So that's looking a little bit better. Again, I'm not calling this a clear bottom yet, but I think we're getting close on some of these. And it very well could be. Sandstorm Gold, finding that support. Again, this is a full retracement. A lot of the times you see these full retracements. And a lot of the times that's when they bounce. You'll get this pattern and then you go back up again. So we'll see what happens. And I do think that this looks a lot more positive than before. But we can still bounce around. And, I'll do a fib retracement on Franco-Nevada. Again, we're right at that 0.786 level. I like buying off these levels. So it's up to you. Could we come all the way back to all the way to 126? It's possible, but, it's looking good where it's at. Statistically, it's a good spot to be looking. EMX, finding some support there. Teuton Resources getting a little bit of buying pressure, small little sideways day. Wheaton Precious Metals, again, this is basically a full retracement almost, looking quite good. Gold Royalty getting some buying pressure. Metallo Royalty getting buying pressure, popping up a little bit higher. Mavericks Metals putting in a bullish engulfing. That's always good to see at a base of a potential move higher. It doesn't mean that the next day will be higher. What it means is that we're putting in a bottom here and that we are starting to turn around the momentum, which is good. It's a reversal candlestick. Royal Gold moving sideways. A Cisco Gold right at support. This is a full retracement basically, and that's usually what you want to see. And then Altius Minerals looks really good down here with the bullish piercing pattern. So that also looks very good. And then it's a hammer pattern on a longer time frame. Now, on a longer time frame, and I don't have the answer here, guys, but notice the pattern that's creating. You might have something that does that and then goes. But again, the patterns are the short term. They're emotional based, human psychologically based. They can look like different things, and it depends on money flows because you can distort them and move them. So I wouldn't put a whole bunch of weight on just the patterns themselves. I would put it on the strategy that you have. If you've got a good, solid strategy where you look at the fundamentals are, demographics, real estate market, inflation coming in, interest rates, all those things have an impact on liquidity flows. So liquidity flows ultimately are what drive these things up and down. The fear and greed of people, the inflation into the system, the increasing of interest rates directs where that money's going, and the decisions that people make. So the way that I look at and use technical analysis is I look at the fundamentals kind of behind the market conditions is what I call it. And then I look at that using that paradigm to use technical analysis to accumulate shares. And then I just hold on. I don't trade in and out. I've said that the entire time I've had this channel. I do not trade in and out. I just hold on. Some of the times you get really good entry points. Other times you blow the entry points. I mean, that's what happens. I've blown a couple of entry points here recently myself. I've made some really good entry points here myself recently as well. That's why I cost average in. I and everyone else, most everyone else, they're not going to get it perfectly right. No one will, because technical analysis isn't 100% right. It's only 60, 70% right, somewhere in that range. So that's what we're dealing with. And 30, 40% of the time, it's possible you jump in and you think you've got the pattern nailed, and news comes out or something happens and you just get smoked to the downside. It happens. But that's what I've got for today. If you guys are interested, sign up to the Platinum membership. I've got a question and answer session tomorrow. We can talk about a bunch of stocks. You guys can ask questions, and I'll tell you the ones that I really, really like. So you're going to get it from my mouth across all the sectors. What are my favorite companies? Why? The chart patterns, the fundamentals, the reasoning behind it. Why I am picking up a lot of these companies for the next bull market, and what I think is coming ahead of us. I'm an energy bull. I'm a precious metal bull. And I think that knowing a little bit about the companies, looking at their presentations, and just kind of seeing and seeing what they're all about and what they make, and looking at their profit and revenue growth and stuff. Maybe we can do one together or something, look through a presentation, and a lot of it is positioning and strategy for what could potentially happen and what I think these sectors are going to do. So if you want to join, become a Platinum member, come to the question and answer session tomorrow and join us. That's all I've got. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Andy.